I'm Eddie for Dojo Mix, and here's a brief tutorial on how I was able to create the clones of Mallory in the For Mallory video. First, we drag the raw file onto the timeline, and we can make it a composite shot. And when we work with it in a composite, we can see the video has Mallory moving to 4 different positions, and each time she sits there for about 20 to 30 seconds. So what we want to do is take the first piece where she's there, and before she stands up to move to the other location, okay, so right about there is where she gets up. We want to use the slice tool to cut that. That'll give us a new video file, and then we want to wait until she moves and gets settled into the new position, and wait until she stops looking at the camera operator, which was me. There we go. And we just want to get rid of that excess that we no longer need. And now we'll wait until she's getting ready to leave that position and move to the bottom left. So right about there. We'll cut there and wait till she gets settled in the other position and stops looking at the camera. And when I was giving her these directions, in order to try to make this as easy as possible to pull off this optical illusion, I just told her to remain still besides just moving around her head and looking around. If there would have been too much movement or too much interaction, like where she was actually speaking dialogue to other characters on the screen, then that would have caused the edit to have to be very precise. Now we can wait until she's done in this location, and it looks like right about, okay, that's where I started to tell her to move. So we'll clip it there, wait for her to move into position over there where she's looking around, and we'll get rid of that section that we no longer need. So now we're left with 4 clips, and that's how we make 4 different copies of Mallory. Okay, we want to move all of these clips underneath each other, and just to make sure that they all match time-wise, we'll just line everything up there. And now the problem that we have is we can only see the top layer out of all these. So what we're going to do now is mask the different subjects on each layer. So we want to use what's called the freehand mask, and we're going to zoom out here so we can see the outside of the video frame, and we just want to start drawing a small mask around her, and there we go. And now that reveals the mask underneath of it. So if we turn this mask off, you see that copy of Mallory disappears. And now we can close the information for that and open up the second layer, and we're going to draw a mask around the second copy of Mallory. We've revealed the third layer, so we can see 3 Mallorys now. And we want to go to the mask options and just make a quick mask here. And now we can see all 4. So now we can stop here because we don't have to mask out the 4th copy. Just for example, if we did mask her out here, what it would do is get rid of all the background, and we don't need that. So what we can do is highlight that and delete. So now that we've got all that masked out, the only other problem that we sometimes run into, the difference in the light from each of the different clips. Even though all of this was recorded at once, you can see that the auto exposure on the smartphone that I was recording this on wasn't locked to one brightness level, so every time she moved it was automatically compensating for the way the light was. So that's why we get a different effect here, but that can easily be fixed. What we want to do is go to Effects, Color Correction, Brightness and Contrast, and we can drag and drop that onto the second layer because that's where this Mallory is located. And in the brightness, we just want to knock the brightness down to about 6. So if we go too low, it'll expose the edges. If we go too high, it'll show the lightness. I'd say 8. That seems to match. And so now we'll drag and drop it onto the top layer. Because over here we have the same issue. We want to get rid of that. I'd say 8, or if we want to, sometimes it's hard to drag it, so if you set it to, if you actually type in what you want, have better control of it that way. But now we've synchronized everything, so when we go in we have 4 copies of Mallory, and when we move it around, the only other thing that I did in the original, I added some music and I added the title overlay, but that's about it. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Dojo Mix. Thank you for watching.